Hi, I'm Kat Kalashian for Live and Invest Overseas. And every January, for the past 13 years now, we at Live and Invest Overseas have been creating our Overseas Retirement Index, naming the world's top retirement havens for the year. The 2026 Retirement Index features 12 incredible destinations. But we don't just announce them. We grade them, we rank them across 14 all important categories: weather, cost of living, English spoken, expat communities, entertainment, and 9 other topics that you'll want to know about a place before you consider it for your new home. What's more, this acclaimed guide gives you specific destinations in each country: cities, towns, even neighborhoods, islands, regions, depending on the place we're talking about, rather than just a dumbed down list of big countries. This means that our index is the most practically useful guide of its kind out there in the whole world. I've been part of the team that works on this mammoth report for about 10 years now, and it's so much fun to put together with our far-flung colleagues all over the world who are giving us all of their data each year and their suggestions. So, how do we do this? There are 14 factors that every retiree needs to consider. We call these our key relocation criteria. And we've come up with these criteria through decades of advising folks on how to move abroad, but mostly from making our many personal international relocations ourselves. Our team is made up of real life expats. I've personally made 5 international moves. I currently live in France, and each of the colleagues who help us with this each year have moved at least that many times, some of them many, many more. And we all continue to live full time overseas. Between us, we've got decades upon decades of experience at this stuff. And suffice it to say, we've got a lot of firsthand experience. The key relocation criteria that we grade every destination each year on include: number one, cost of living. That's probably the number one thing people think about when they want to move overseas. Is it going to be more affordable or at least neutral? Certainly, you don't want to go someplace and have to spend more unless you want to spend more. Number two is climate. This is a tough one because it's hard to say what a perfect climate is. Is it year-round warmth? Is it 4 mild seasons? Or is it just steady, temperate climates all year round? Those elusive springtime destinations, as we call them. Number three is the healthcare. Of course, this is a top concern. No matter your age or demographic, you need to know that your healthcare concerns are going to be met. And in most cases, they will be met with excellent standards, often at a fraction of the price that you're paying right now. Number four and five they kind of go hand in hand. It's entertainment and recreation. This was a little bit hard for us to come up with terminology for, but entertainment, by that we mean kind of anything you can do indoors. Culture, a cinema even could be in the entertainment category. Then recreation is more the outdoor things. So the golf courses, the hiking, the swimming, etc. Number six and seven also kind of partner up a little bit with English spoken and the expat community. So these are two different things. The English spoken refers to locals in the area, but also to the number of expats that would speak your own language. So it's a little bit of a twofer right there. And so, for example, in Portugal, the local population speaks a very, very high level of English, plus there are lots of English speaking expats. That's not always the case. So this is what we're kind of balancing in these two categories. The expat community, this one refers specifically to how easy it would be to make like-minded friends from back home, people that speak your own language, etc. Number eight includes everything to do with infrastructure. So this is for internet, electricity, public transportation, the state of the roads, etc. Number nine is access to North America. Of course, this is a big one if you're thinking that you're going to go back home to visit friends or family pretty frequently, or if you want them to come visit you. So how tough is it to get? How many flights would it be? How long would those flights be? And these are all things that we consider in access to North America. So of course, Latin American countries are big winners in this category because for the most part, they're much quicker to get to than European or Asian destinations, although might not be the case for one of our South American destinations, but I can't reveal the name just yet. Number 10 is environmental factors. This could be anything from the levels of pollution to, natural disasters to be on the lookout for, things like beach erosion, that kind of stuff. Number 11 is safety. All of the destinations on our list are incredibly safe, statistically much safer than the United States, and even in some cases, Canada. Number 12 is real estate restrictions. This means basically, are you allowed to own property? Do you have the same rights as a local? Are there any restrictions placed on you just being a foreigner, whether you have residency or not. So this category only applies to the people that are looking to buy a new home or buy a second home, depending on whether they want to spend their full time there or part time there. And then number 13 is residency. So how easy and how affordable is it to get residency in the country as a retiree? Are there any incentives, tax benefits, extra discounts? In most cases, the answer is yes in these 12 top destinations. And finally, we look at taxes. And I know this is no one's favorite topic, but most people that have come to look at moving abroad realize very quickly that taxes are one of the top concerns and something that you just need to be very aware of and well educated in. So while you don't need to understand all of the tax codes, the ins and outs of the tax treaties that your new country has with your home country, you need to be aware enough at least to hire somebody who does know about those things. So I do want to tell you a little bit more. I'm not allowed to reveal the final rankings yet, but I am allowed to give some teasers, which I'm going to get to in 1 minute. But I want to just extend a quick invitation before I move on. Next week, on Thursday, January 8th, we'll be revealing the single best place to live abroad in 2026, the winner of this year's Overseas Retirement Index, as well as all of the runners-up, the biggest surprises, and the best specific grades. So best, the top 3 cheapest, the top 3 for healthcare. So join us if you would like for this exclusive behind the scenes peek at who made the cut and who got booted from this year's Overseas Retirement Index. Even if you can't join us live, you can sign up and get a complimentary recording sent to you afterwards that you can listen to at your leisure. If you are interested in living abroad, this is something you won't want to miss. We're going to review the world's top best towns, best cities to live in, of course, but we're also going to discuss the places that are falling out of favor and why, and the places that are poised to enter the top 10 in coming years. Best of all, you'll be able to ask your questions live, including why a place that might be on your list isn't on ours. It's only an hour of your time, and it should be lots of fun. I always enjoy speaking with my colleagues about all of these decisions that we've spent so long making, so I hope you can join me and the rest of the Index team next week. Learn more and save your spot online by clicking on that link on the screen. So as I said, I'm not allowed to reveal the final rankings yet, but they include a hidden gem in Europe, a retiree's playground in Southeast Asia, a wine lover's paradise in South America, and the list only goes on from there and gets potentially more interesting depending on your goals. What I can do though today, what I've been permitted to divulge, is to list the top winning countries. And again, the index lists specific towns, cities, regions, islands. We get much, much more thinly sliced than just the country. But here are the broad strokes of why the top placing countries are worth your attention. So number 5 is a surprise destination in Greece. And Greece's reputation as a bona fide beach hotspot is well-founded and has been for a long time. It's got the longest coastline in the Mediterranean, thanks to all of its hundreds and hundreds of islands, and unique geography outside of those. So it's full of islands and peninsulas, but it's also got mountains. It offers these olive groves, vineyards, untouched inland wilderness, as well as ancient and wonderfully scenic villages. Athens, even the capital, although it's not my favorite European capital, there is a lot going for it. Plus, there's this gorgeous climate to enjoy any of these topographies year round. So as I say, it's not just about the beaches here in Greece. Greek people are warm and welcoming. The food is some of the best in the world, and the cost of living is extremely low, especially for Europe. Greece is a culturally fascinating place. It's the cradle of Western civilization, very famously. So the cultural and historic importance of some of its sites, many dating back thousands and thousands of years, are found all over the country. If you're a history buff or a beach aficionado, this is definitely a good choice for you. Again, Greece ranks number 5 on our list if you're just breaking it down by country. Number 4 is France, my chosen adopted home. France is this kind of fairy tale land of romance, culinary excellence, delicious wine, beautiful architecture. France really does have something to offer everyone, even though there's kind of this image of Paris and these rose-tinted glasses that we use to look at the country. France is much more than Paris, let me tell you. So it does have this very metropolitan capital, but it's also got laid-back, rustic, very affordable living in the rural and more agricultural regions. It's got a fantastic outdoor mountain life in the Alps or the Pyrenees. or glamorous or not so glamorous beachside living, depending on which side of the Mediterranean coast you choose to live on. So sun seekers can be very content in the south. Those who prefer cooler weather or four seasons will enjoy the milder temperatures in the north, where I live. France is also, of course, home to some of the world's best vineyards and wines. Enjoy local tastings just a few kilometers from where they were produced. That's some of the most fun that you'll have here, is just exploring the countryside and realizing how close you can get to the culture when it comes to food and wine and everything else here, really. And if you throw in the world-class gastronomy, the food and wine alone are almost worth the move all by themselves. But of course, France is also well-renowned for its art. It's steeped in rich history, much of it Roman, going back thousands of years. Beautiful architecture, whether you're looking at Paris or the half-timbered houses along the German border, or those beautiful picturesque towns in the south, and lots of charming traditions. Again, this is my chosen adopted home, but one of the best things about living here is having access to the rest of Europe, like Greece, which I was just talking about. So, number 3 on our list this year is Mexico. We won't reveal yet which particular city in Mexico we have named the 3rd best place to retire for 2026. But I will say that Mexico is the most accessible country in the entire region, really in the world, from the United States and Canada. And it offers lots of options and opportunity for the potential expat. This is a big, extraordinarily diverse country. You've got 2 long coasts along the Pacific and the Caribbean. You've got mountains, colonial cities, not to mention the Mayan ruins, the jungle, rainforest, rivers, lakes, cenotes. And being in North America, this country is home to many American franchises. So, okay, Starbucks and McDonald's, yes, you'll find them in many other countries. But Pet Depot, Walmart, and the Home Depot, these are things that you don't usually find overseas, and that will make your life a lot easier living in Mexico if you're looking for kind of a half step to not go too far out of your comfort zone. For all of these reasons and more, Mexico is home to the biggest established population of American expats in the world. Number 2, Portugal, the 2nd best country in the world. Portugal, for many, many years running, for nearly a decade, it took the top spot. And since then, it's been hovering within the top 5 because Portugal offers just about everything. It's got these dazzling coastlines, charming towns, friendly people. It's an incredibly safe country, always ranking in the top 10 on the Global Peace Index. It varies a little bit year to year, but from 3rd to 7th, I've never seen it go above that. You've got 300 days or more of sunshine if you're looking at moving to the south of the country, and a mild climate elsewhere in the country. It's also home to some of the world's best beaches and golf courses, which, it's worth noting, golf courses, you'll find them in Spain and in Portugal, but you're not really going to find them anywhere else in Europe, at least not on such a large scale as you might imagine. So if you're looking for a golf destination, it's worth making a mental note. Plus, it is actually a surprisingly affordable European destination. There's been so much press that prices are rising in certain parts of Portugal, especially in the Algarve and Lisbon. Even so, it is a much more affordable country than many others in Western Europe. Expats here enjoy its beautiful landscapes, the historical architecture, stunning beaches, and the welcoming residency programs. Portugal nowadays is thought to be home to about 700,000 expats, most of whom are European or North American. The country is so rich with artistic and cultural treasures, tasty cuisine that's also the healthiest diet in the world, and a unique architectural style. It's little wonder that this country gains an uptick in foreign residents every year. And number 1 is Panama, a longtime favorite of Live and Invest Overseas. And again, I can't pinpoint the exact place in Panama we've chosen for this year's top retirement destination. But Panama, really, when it comes to just about anything you want to do, Panama remains one of the best choices in the world. I personally lived there for 7 years. I still have a second residency there, so I'm able to come and go as I please. I won't get into all the details of the administration, but suffice it to say, Panama is a very nice little backup option if you're looking for a backup residency or possibly even citizenship. So, there's no doubt that Panama has serious advantages for those looking for a country with a more affordable cost of living, but it's also blessed with so many beautiful islands, 2 long coastlines of both Pacific and Caribbean beaches, plus mountain retreats, colonial towns, and Panama City, the capital, is the banking and financial hub of the entire region. And here you can expect pretty much every first world amenity you would want or would think of, food deliveries, Uber, for example. These are things you can't expect in the villages, but or in the, in the interior of the country, but in the capital, you can pretty much live as you would be living back home. The capital is also chock-a-block with US-style shopping malls, mega grocery stores, wine shops, sushi bars, five-star restaurants, nightclubs, casinos, art galleries, and 12-screen movie theaters showing first-run movies in English. So again, moving to Panama, a bit like moving to Mexico, it's a step further away from American culture, but it's still very close, very familiar. The Wi-Fi is world class. The water is drinkable straight from the tap, unless you're on the Caribbean side, and take note. And the utilities are universally pretty reliable. The doctors and many of the medical facilities are top notch, especially in the capital. And beyond the capital, Panama is just a natural wonderland where you discover beautiful tropical islands fringed with white sand and coconut palms, and mountain retreats where you can spend nights in a treehouse. I've done this actually. It's a very cool experience to go out into the mountain retreats where you can rent one of these hotel rooms that's actually built up in a tree and be living in the middle of the rainforest for a couple of nights. You'll be shocked at how scared you'll become of simple wildlife like an armadillo or something similar crawling underneath your house. You'll start to think there are cougars in there. But such a fun experience. So howler monkeys will wake you up in the morning, but the migrating songbirds will put you to sleep at night. And that's pretty much true even in Panama City, which is quite close to nature itself. So don't forget, if you want to discover the specific locations within each of these countries that I've mentioned and much, much more, join me and the rest of the Index team for a fun conversation next week live during our interactive webinar that does allow you to ask questions live and speak with us experts as we're speaking. Sign up in a single click at that link on the screen. Happy trails.